Those who are wise won't be busy, and those who are too busy can't be wise. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. When we see men of a worthy character, we should think of equaling them. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. To see what is right and not do it is the want of courage. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. A wise man makes his own decisions. An ignorant man follows public opinion. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Learning without thought is labor loss. Thought without learning is perilous. The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials. To see what is right and not do it is the want of virtue. When we do not know what to do, no matter what, we must not do harm. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. He who speaks without modesty will find it difficult to make his words good. Ignorance is the night of the mind, but a night without moon and star. When we have nothing to worry about, we are not doing anything. Do not impose on others what you do not wish for yourself. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. He who asks is a fool for 5 minutes. But he who does not ask remains a fool forever. The key to everything is patience. You get the chicken by hatching the egg, not by smashing it. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. The wise are not learned, the learned are not wise. A wise man adapts himself to circumstances, as water shapes itself to the vessel that contains it. Fools worry about having no weapons. The wise worry about having no wisdom. In archery, the target is not the only thing. The art itself is also important. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. A mistake that makes you humble is better than an achievement that makes you arrogant. He who stands on tiptoe does not stand firm. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without one. Those who are free of resentful thoughts surely find peace. He who sacrifices his conscience to ambition burns a picture to obtain the ashes. The heart that is within us knows the cause of its own bitterness. The wise find pleasure in water. The virtuous find pleasure in hills. A superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. The superior man is distressed by the limitations of his ability. He is not distressed by the fact that people do not recognize the abilities that he has. When you see a good person, think of becoming like her, him. When you see someone not so good, reflect on your own weak points. When we have nothing to worry about, we are not doing anything. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. He who asks is a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask remains a fool forever. When you are content to be simply yourself, and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. The best fighter is never angry. Tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. When you plant a seed of love, it is you that blossoms. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Your present circumstances don't determine where you can go. They merely determine where you start. A wise man adapts himself to circumstances as water shapes itself to the vessel that contains it.